Welcome back, everybody. I'm here. It's just Heath and I today, head coach Heath Bakken of the Tiger Wrestling. And we're here with another episode of the Stewartville Wrestling Update podcast. This is week 4 just wrapped up, Heath. You had a couple of events over the weekend. It's Tuesday. Normally we record these over the weekend, but it's Tuesday. It's real late tonight, too. Just super quick, talk about how things are going in practice since the weekend. What's the feeling in the room right now?
I tell you what, man. Again, the practices have been good. The guys the last 2 days really getting after it. We're trying to continue to raise the bar after our performances. Again, obviously Friday night was not a good performance for us. Nobody, uh, there's no way to sugarcoat it. That's not what we're about. That's not where we're trying to go, and that's not who we are. And and again, I'm continually impressed that the kids come back hungry and trying to make changes. And again, of all the last few years, and again, no disrespect to anybody, but like the vibe I get from this group is they really want to change. And some of it is maybe they don't know how all the way. So like the last few days has been a lot of mental. We spend a lot of time more so on some mental scenarios, how to get your mind in the right place, at least for our varsity guys anyways. Some of them conversations with the JV guys just at the beginning when I get them, and I'm sure coaches are talking about it, but that's really been our focus with the older guy group. And then, we got some guys right now that are, tell you what, they're wrestling a really high pace in practice, and we're getting some other guys to partner up with them and get a feel for that tempo. And so, like I said, Friday night wasn't our best performance, and we apologize to anybody for that. But we're back to the drawing board, and we're gonna get better.
And again, I mean, and it's hard, right? Given the situation we're in, we're reporting on what happened, right? And nobody's trying to mean anything disrespectful, but I think what's good about this, what's good about being honest about it, is now it gives the kids an opportunity to change, to grow, to right the wrong, right? If we sat on here and we talked about, I don't know, the great effort or whatever people use to like sugarcoat the fact that y'all got stomped on Friday, right? Then the kids don't have anything to learn and to grow from. Why would you, right? Because we just told them how well it was. Like the kids know, and knowing the athletes that are on your squad and being around them and being like everybody knows. So to me, I think it's a great opportunity for them to take one on the chin and get back up, right? How do you respond? And obviously, I
Yeah.
didn't get to watch very much of it because the feed was a little out of sorts at certain times. So this is probably one of the 1 weeks where I don't have a whole lot of insight on what happened over the weekend. But it sounds like you guys came back Saturday. You guys had PI and La Crescent over in a try. Kind of talk about that experience and how you guys responded.
So again, right, that is the one thing that we've done good is the guys, this day's done. We can't change it. All we can do is learn from it and improve. Um, again, we got up Saturday morning and we did a 45-minute drill before we ever got on the bus. And that's a thing that's been working for us. It seems to kind of get our head back, for lack of better terms, our head screwed back on and know what we're doing that day. So the guys got a good sweat in before we, weighed in and left for Pine Island. La Crescent's down. There was only basically 4 matches in that duel. They got one guy that's pretty decent at 138 that Lincoln Doobie ended up with that, you know, thought we could wrestle 6 minutes. We didn't quite get there. But otherwise, we basically controlled that 66-6 win there. Pine Island, that was a little bit of a dogfight for a while. I mean, that was a team that came to try and beat us, quite frankly. And that's the conversation with the guys after the duel was, this is what we need to be doing when it comes to the Zambrotas, the Good Hughes. Like they threw everything at us to try and beat us. And the energy we had, the way we wrestled, we responded. when it was 42-33 sounds closer than it is. We gave up, we gave open weights at 220 and 285, and then we made a weight shift with everybody, which leaves us with a little bit of an open hole right now. The other guy that could maybe fill that is injured. So till we get him back, but the weight shift seems to be doing what we want it to do as far as guys looking to filling out the weights better if they look stronger in their matches. Um, but even against Pine Island, right? That was a lot of the conversation after the matches. Okay, what was going through our head? Was it positive? Was it negative? Was it fear? Was it afraid to make a mistake? But again, I thought guys really, for the most part, guys really wrestled well. Um, we got a 42-33 win, and like you say, anytime you can finish the weekend, finish your week there, and like you said, I've led into positive Monday and Tuesday so far. So
Yeah, and again, as somebody who I only got to see a very, very little bit, I got to see most of Pine Island La Crescent, which wasn't all too interesting to me personally, right? But I got to see a little bit of it, and I think what something that you brought up, which is kind of important, is that you talked about how they felt and how everybody was kind of positive after having that kind of tight contested duel, right? And having somebody like you said, somebody like Pine Island throw the kitchen sink at you, give them everything you got, and how great your athletes felt after winning, right? Wouldn't you want to do that to everybody? And that's easy because we're adults. We're adults sitting here on the computer talking, so of course we think that, right? These are high school kids that are dealing with thousands of other things in their lives. But hopefully, yeah, I hopefully that tide turns. I mean, we were kind of talking off air, and obviously I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but um, at some point this group's going to have to make a choice, right? And it's not that they aren't capable. I think that even in a shortened season, even in a goofy season, that a lot of athletes that wear tigers across their chest have shown they can hang, and they can hang with the top kids, right? The ones that you want to beat, not the ones that you expect to beat, or X, Y, and Z, but like the top of the line in the section, like they can go toe to toe. They might not be in a position where they're picked to win or they're the paper favorite, but there's no reason they can't go out and compete for 6 minutes. And it's going to take consistency on that, I think, to mold that kind of mentality over time. But it's good to hear that it's coming along at least. Uh,
yeah, I mean, and that not to cut you off, but I mean that was the conversation after Zumbrota, right? Is our staff believes we have the pieces to be there right now. And we're not saying that, like you said, we're not necessarily we're going to go out and stun the world, but we have the pieces to be competitive and in these other duels right now. We
and
just got to get that belief across the board,
and I
and
think
which comes
that
back to consistency.
yes, and I think that what's important about what you said is right now, because I think I shouldn't say a lot of programs, but sometimes programs can get sucked into we have a good group coming up, or things are going well in the youth program X, Y, and Z, and I'm talking any sport, right? And then people get sucked into we're going to be so good in 2 to 3 years, that they forget to go put in the work and go get good in 2 to 3 years, right? And then we just keep kicking the can down, kicking the can down. Oh well, this group's coming up. Well, this group's coming. Right now is the time.
Yeah,
And I don't it's hard to get high school kids to understand that, right? Or middle school kids, or that's a hard thing to process, especially if it's something new, because it is new to them, right? I mean, I don't think that we're saying anything poor about anybody by saying right now Storville's not a top four power
no,
right now.
not yet. We're close. We're
And
close.
that's the thing, right? Right now they aren't, but the capability is there. and
Yes.
and I think that that's something we need to keep pushing, right? And regardless of who thinks anybody's crazy, whether it's people in our own community or people in the next town over, it ain't for them. So uh hopefully the guys are figuring that out, man. It seems like this group is gelling together in that way, and hopefully it comes out in how they compete. It sounds like things are going well
Yeah.
in training. Now it's about showing it when the lights are on, right? When you get to show everybody right? This is how great I am. This is how much I love this sport. You get 6 minutes. You get 6 minutes to do that. And, getting kids to shift that mentality is tough. And I, bless your hearts, as high school coaches, I tip my hat to you as far as what you guys are doing there. What do you guys got going on this week? I know you have Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, Thursday we host a triangular with Kenyon Wanamingo and Do Ryota. We'll wrestle first and third, so we'll wrestle at 5 o'clock, and then probably again about 7:15 ish or so. And then Saturday we host Fillmore Central, Lanesboro, Mabel Canton, 10 o'clock start right now. We're still trying to see if we can rope in another team, but we'll see what happens with that as the week goes on. But um, so again, some good chances to kind of test ourselves a little bit. You know, Kenyon and Doriota are still quality programs, and I think Doriota is probably on the up and up. And like I say, we just every time you step on the mat is a chance to test yourself and learn something about yourself. And like I told one guy last weekend, like everybody's learning thing is different, right? Some guys it's just a matter of wrestling 2 minutes. Getting through one period is a win, right? And then next time you try and get through 3 minutes, and every guy on that team of the 14 guys is on a different little journey. Um, so it's just trying to maximize what each guy's got. And like I say, Thursday's another chance for us to do that.
Yeah. So you guys start at 5 on Thursday out in Kenyon. It's you three, you, Kenyon, and Dover, and then you got Fillmore Central, possibly another team on Saturday. That's at home. Is that a 10 a.m. start, I assume?
That'll be a 10 a.m. start. If we were to add a third team, we would go probably 10 and 12. But right now it'll be at 10 o'clock, JV first, then varsity.
Okay. And since it is so late, and Heath was telling me off air, he had a section rep meeting last night. But Heath, you got anything else for the people?
Uh, again, just thanks for everybody that's listening to this. We're going to trying to get some of our athletes to get on here and some of our other coaches and and kind of let you guys know a little bit more about them here too. So, but very positive vibes that we're getting from this thing.
Yep. And on that note, Heath, I guess we'll bid you farewell and I'll wrap it up. But I'll probably chat at you sometime before Thursday. If I don't, best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Catch you later. And now that Heath's gone and the air is cleared a little bit, I'll kind of finish up with some other things to tie into place. A few things I wanted to get out there. Youth wrestling up and at 'em. They're working out in the Sportsman's Club in Stewartville, obviously. It sounds like things have gone well. We got some youth tournaments going on. It's kind of hard to host a youth tournament in their high school. So Min USA has been running qualifiers up in their Coon Rapids building. I finally looked a little more into it. They only take 100 wrestlers per session, and sessions are kind of split by age level or developmental level. So the registration opens about 2 weeks before the actual qualifier. So for instance, today's Tuesday, it's February 9th. Today opened up the Rogers qualifier. That's in like 2 weeks on a Sunday. So if you want to be checking that out on minusawrestling.org, they have all of that type of information that you'll need there. It sounds like it doesn't sound. I've seen a few Stewartville athletes and Stewartville families go up there. It looks like it's a goofy season no matter what. But it's an opportunity for those youth athletes to go get some matches in. And it seems like it runs pretty quick, which is also kind of nice. Hopefully we can keep some of the things that have made it a little easier and a little more um, fan kid, um, less experienced family a little more open to it, right? It's a little more friendly to them. Sometimes these youth tournaments, and we all know because we run them and everything, it could be 2, 3, 4 hours before your kid wrestles, and that's not really a friendly experience for them. So hats off to Min USA for keeping trying to figure that out. Their state tournament is coming up in early March, I believe. Um, in order to register for the Min USA State Tournament, there are criteria or certain registration dates. So, for instance, state placers, first through sixth, from the last 2 years are in the first 2 week window. And then the second 2 week window is if you like win a state qualifier that they're holding right now, up in Coon Rapids. And then the last opening will be for everyone else. And they can only take so many wrestlers. So obviously there's a little incentive to get out there and get competing. But if you need more information on that, feel free to reach out to me or feel free to reach out to MinUSA. They've been doing an awesome job of really trying to make sure that we could still have a season here in our state. Also, NYWA came out with some information on a tournament. It's going to be an open tournament, sort of their end of the year state tournament, especially for people who live in Stewartville. It's kind of a staple. It's right in Rochester normally. But this year, because of restrictions and things here in Minnesota, it seems that NY is going to be holding it in South Dakota. Registration is going to open on the 15th, so that'd be next Monday. Basically it's going to be an open format. You got to sign up first, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing, only X amount of entrants per weight class per age division, and you got to be in first. And actually, after reading it and reading a little bit further in, if they have openings, they're going to offer it to surrounding states as well. So hopefully they'll have full brackets and things, but just something to keep in mind, especially those of you in the youth program. I know the coaches are getting information and stuff out like that, but I also want to pass that on and try to be as helpful as I can to anyone else regarding that. Booster Club bingo night was tonight, and I'm not there, but bingo night is on Tuesdays. Make sure you're still looking to hopefully get signed up. It looks like they had a pretty healthy list of people signed up, but we can always use more help. Go ahead and reach out to Natalie Hewitt or on the Facebook page and looking for that schedule to help sign up with that. Again, from last week, February 14th, Booster Club meeting at Cars at 6:30 p.m. Cars Bar and Grill down in Racine. That is on Sunday. Hopefully Daytona's done by then, and you can take your eyes off the screen so you can make your way over to Cars for the Booster Club meeting. Outside of that, couple of alumni updates. Jamie Galing won a 5-2 decision over an Augustana wrestler and some extra matches last week. Their last duel of the season is up against St. Cloud this week. For those of you who don't know, Stewartville alumni Brett Stolarczyk, a former Husky. So I'm sure there might be some jawing back and forth between those two over the week. But Upper Iowa has St. Cloud this week, and that'll be their final duel. And then it seems like a lot of colleges are taking a little bit of time off to make sure everybody's quarantined, cleaned up, going into the conference or the qualifier, and then moving forward to the national tournament. So a lot of that's going on. Flip side, Brody Olson reached out yesterday, and he reaches out all the time, but he reached out yesterday and told me first day of contact is today. So this would be Tuesday when I'm obviously recording this. They haven't been able to really have contact up at Northern Michigan due to protocols and things. So he was really excited. He didn't text me back later about how it went. So either we're real sore or it went really, really well, and he's too busy doing other things. But hopefully that went well for you, Brody. As he said, Thursday night they got Dover Yoda and Kenyon in a triangular. Starting at 5 o'clock. Saturday, they have Fillmore Central in a duel as of now. They're looking to add another team, but that's looking like a 10 a.m. start Saturday morning in Stewartville at home. And if you have anything else that you're looking to get pushed on here or asked on here, shoot, I'll even take questions at this point. I've had a few parents reach out and ask me some certain questions. Can we do this? Can we do that? As somebody who is currently trying to navigate the club space a little more, I try to be a good resource for that. I think MinUSA has awesome resources, and I've kind of found that if I can't answer the question, I can usually find somebody who can answer the question. So please feel free, if you have questions on how these things work, feel free to use myself as a resource or Heath or anybody. We want to make sure that everybody in our community, that's in our wrestling community, especially in Stewartville, is aware of all the stuff that we're doing that's really awesome, but also aware of the opportunities to continue to do awesome stuff. So please always feel free to reach out on that. And outside of that, we don't really have any alumni tonight. Again, it's Tuesday. Schmitz told me he couldn't do it on Mondays because he's got to watch The Bachelor. And then Tuesday, he actually had an event up in Northfield with his team. He had a triangular. So I'd let him off the hook this week again. But we're going to work really hard on getting some other guests, because as fun as it is to listen to Heath and I talk about wrestling, you can do that any Saturday. You could, the government's probably tapped their phones, so they probably watch Heath and I talk wrestling all the time. But we're hoping to get some athletes on here next week, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It ain't Cody Buchanan Variety Hour. It's the Stewartville Wrestling Update podcast, and I think we need a little more Stewartville wrestling on it. So maybe I have to harass a couple coaches over the weekend and let them know that we need to get them on there. Even if they don't want to. Steve Solarzik, calling you out. Anything else people need, obviously feel free to let us know. Otherwise, again, thanks for watching.